So I'm really excited about the next interview, and I think you guys will be too. Pita Taufatofua is an Olympian from Tonga. You may have noticed him in the Summer Olympics, and if you didn't, you might have noticed him in the Winter Olympics. Ever since he was 12 years old, Pita wanted to be an Olympian, and he fought tenaciously for 20 years to make that dream come true. Became the first Tongan in history to qualify in Taekwondo, and even more amazingly, 2 years later, he became the first Tongan in history to compete in the Winter Olympics. He spent just 12 weeks on the snow in order to do that, and he qualified in cross-country skiing. Also, you guys may remember in both Olympics, he wore his traditional oiled Tongan attire at the opening ceremonies, was told not to do so, did so anyway. Again, I think we'll touch on that as what makes an entrepreneur. He grew up in a poor family as the middle child of 6. He lost his sister to leukemia when he was young, and he's committed his life to inspiring and motivating people all over the world to chase their dreams. So please help me welcome Pita Taufatofua. Thanks, Pita. Have a seat. So I've been asking everyone the same first question. We'll get to the really exciting stuff. But do you consider yourself an entrepreneur? And if so, at what point along your journey did you come to think of yourself, even if that's not the word you would have chosen?
Well, first of all, thank you everyone for having me. Up until a year ago, I couldn't even spell the word entrepreneur. So I had a good look at exactly what it means. But to me, what an entrepreneur means is basically, the same as what Frank Sinatra's song was. It's someone who decided to do things their way. I did it my way. And it's someone who's not following the status quo, who's decided that I'm going to live a life of purpose, and then that's how I'm going to, and then that's what I'm going to do with my life. I'm going to do things on my terms.
And at what point did becoming an Olympian move from a dream to a pursuit? Because, I imagine there's a lot of people in this room that dreamt of themselves as Olympians, and I might be mistaken, but I think you're the only Olympian in the room. Is that right? Any Olympians? Okay. At what point did it go from something that you kind of wished would happen, like we all wish something would happen, to something you were like, no, I'm going to pursue this and make it happen?
For me, being an Olympian was was something that I was always drawn towards. Ever since I was 12 years old, I had that vision that one day you're going to be an Olympian, one day you're going to be an Olympian. And whatever life threw at me, that vision, that dream, it never changed. It was something that was always consistent. It was something that was pulling me towards it. And because of that, I decided to pursue and to, I guess, go through all the trials and tribulations to get there.
And what were the points along the way where what was the first time you were convinced it could happen, and when was the moment where you were most disillusioned, most thought, wow, it might not really happen?
So my first Olympics took me 20 years. What people may not realize is that we get one shot every 4 years. We get one day to become the #1 in Oceania to qualify for the Olympics. And if you're sick on that day, if you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, if something went wrong, then you may fail, and then you have to wait another 4 years. So it took 20 years to actually get to that point. Three Olympic qualifiers in a row, I got a silver, so I missed out on the Olympics by 1 spot. And 2 of those I left New Caledonia, where the qualifiers were in a wheelchair and on crutches. So there was always that feeling that this is really difficult. I'll never achieve it unless I have that self-belief that I can achieve it. So it's something that comes into your mind every day. Maybe I can, maybe I can't, but I always will try.
And so you did it. You got there. You were in Rio, right? In Taekwondo. What was the thought process of, I'm going to learn how to ski and go to Korea and be in the Winter Olympics?
Whoa. It was one of those things that was a good idea at the time, huh?
It sounds to me like something like at a bar that somebody dares you.
Yeah, well, to me, it felt like that to me as well. So I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to find the hardest possible sport that I could think of, something that wasn't aligned with my physical shape. I was 30 kilograms, 60 pounds. Sorry, MIT students, 60 pounds heavier than everyone else in the sport. I wasn't an endurance athlete. I hadn't seen snow till 2 years ago, and I'd never put on skis in my life. Therefore, that was a sport that I had to do. And then to make it more interesting, I thought, let's see if I can do it in 1 year. But the reasoning for that was that I had this hypothesis that success is transferable. That if you can be successful in one area of your life, then you can transfer what you have learned from that to other areas. And I tested that hypothesis every day for that year. And, and I managed to qualify within 1 year.
And so now you've built up a following, you have a social media presence, what have you been able to use that platform for? What are some of the doors that being an Olympian, that having that visibility has opened for you?
So I guess being an Olympian it's really cool. There's no other way to say it, you know. You have doctors, professors, and Olympians. All of these are cool things, and prime ministers and presidents. But what it is for me, and what sports is for me, is it's a platform. It's a vehicle to express myself and to express the things that I've learned, not for myself, but to help other people achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve in their area of Olympics. And Olympics isn't just about sport.
Yeah, Dean was saying that. It's about robots.
He stole my punchline. So what it is, it's about being able to express yourself and do it for the greater good, for humanity. What good is it to be an Olympian if you can't transfer these qualities to the people who look up to you and the people who follow you, who are going through difficult times in their life?
And when people say to you, how did you do it? What were the setbacks? What are the sort of things that you tell people are the qualities they need to, again, become their own sort of Olympian?
So, for me, becoming an Olympian or being successful at anything, there are two major factors, and they're directly correlated to success. Number one is your ability to deal with pain, discomfort, and failure. It's a word that everyone avoids, failure, because it means pain for you. Number two is your ability to have good, strong self-belief when the rest of the world, your family, your friends, are saying things to keep you here. When you understand that your vision is up there, your dream is up there, where you're meant to be, your full potential lives up there. So having that self-belief is something that we have to cultivate. So as for the people out here who are listening in and they're going through their own journey to be successful, what I will encourage you to do is, as you learn the skills and go through the motions in whatever area it is that you're trying to pursue, always remember that you must learn how to deal with pain, and you must learn that internal belief is what's going to get you through that pain. You'll never reach the top of your mountain until you first go through a valley. There is no mountain without a valley.
So, Summer Olympics, Winter Olympics, what's next? You're your own basketball team competing in the Olympics?
Apparently, I'm going to the robotics Olympics.
Yeah.
I was told by Mr. Segway just before that you have to come to the robotics Olympics. And I said to him, I said, well, if I'm getting an invite, then I'll be the first person in history to go to 3 different Olympics. I was going to try and go for a third Olympic sport. It's never been done before. But I just got an invitation downstairs, so that seems like an easier path. In 2 weeks, I'll be speaking at the United Nations. There's a lot of things, on the cards for me, but none of it is important unless I'm able to, use it for the greater good to help people achieve what it is that they're after.
And what are the issues that are closest to home? What are the things that, if somebody gave you a minute and 40 to tell the world, what you would like to see change, what gets you up in the morning?
Breakfast, but so for me there's two things. One is that I'm a representative of the Pacific. I'm a Polynesian. Climate change. My feet are getting wet every year. They're getting, the water's rising. I see it every day. So climate change is certainly one of those things. And secondly, helping people achieve their potential. It disheartens me when I see people trying to achieve goals here when they know that their true potential is up there. So if I can somehow get across to people and encourage, motivate, inspire in whatever way I can, inspire people to keep going, fight through the challenges, then that's the biggest thing to me. 40 seconds. So just before I wrap that bit up, they say if you can't explain a concept to a 7-year-old child, then you don't understand it yourself. So I thought I'd explain, the concept of actually being successful and going through failure. So when you play the game Donkey Kong, I'm trying to be as technical as possible. When you play the game Donkey Kong, in the end, you get 1,000 barrels thrown at you. That's life. But that's where most people quit in life. They quit just before they level up, just before they reach that point where they're about to be successful. So that is my message to people. That's not the time to quit. That's the time to celebrate. That's the time to say, I'm right here. Bring on whatever it is that you want to test me with, but I'm ready.
Awesome. Well, Pita Taufatofua, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
So I want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to chat with these 4 amazing people. I think we can all agree are entrepreneurs in their own right. If you've enjoyed what I do a daily newsletter. One of the things Dean taught me is always pitch yourself. So getlogin.axios.com. It's free. I'll come in your inbox every day. I'd love to, and you can send me feedback, ina@axios.com. Thanks so much.